You know what? I've got so many models, it's about time I started making one. So why not start with the latest one that I've got hold of? This is the Enterprise F build. Hi guys, Retro Trek Ralph here with a model build. Finally, I've been building up to these for quite a while and I'm finally going to get on with one of them. Right, I was given Enterprise F and the Enterprise G and the Titan A as gifts from Starship Collector. It's nice that give them but I need to make them. I need to do something with them. The G and the Titan will be a separate video, but that's for another day. I've also got an Enterprise refit. I've also got the Space 1999. This is Transport, it was Deluxe Edition. I've already got the videos and the unboxing for these anyway, as well as the Space 1999 Comlock and Phaser kit, and the space shuttle as well. So I have to get on with doing something with those. So first job for these is I have 3 parts. I need to take off the flash, take off the parts which are actual parts on here, because I've kind of figured out that these parts here come off with, so I'm thinking that I thought that they actually connected on the back of here, but what I'm figuring out is I'm a bit dense and that these actually don't connect to these, because these, I don't think they're part of the ship. So start with a little bit of cleanup, taking off the flash, and see where else I can go with this. So I've actually been reading up on what's the best glue to put on for these, and it turns out that normal model making glue, which is your polystyrene cement, is absolutely useless for this. Your polystyrene cement will melt the edges of the plastic together, you put them together, hold them in place, and it will eventually mould both pieces of plastic together. It's different with this because this is PLA, it doesn't work that way. So it's either a case of normal everyday crummy super glue or a 2-part epoxy. So I'm going to go with this, and if it doesn't work, I'll go with the super glue. But you can hear that plane flying overhead. Beauties of having a garage. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I've already started taking some of these parts off. Most of these should just break off anyway, but I've actually been looking forward to doing this. These are just the bottom layer of the part to be as a stand for holding things up. It holds itself up pretty well anyway, so it's just a base to get things going. It's probably a decent 3D printer that puts these on anyway. Not quite sure whether or not I need to sand these flat or whether or not this would be a good base for the epoxy to go into. So that's that part virtually done. I don't know. There's a lot of lines on these. This is what gets me with 3D printing. I do want a resin printer, which would be a lot better. So I could, it would easily get rid of these lines, and they probably would be, maybe I could do these printed in 2 for the size of the one that I actually been looking at to buy. So I don't know. So right, the second one I want to, that was quite easy anyway, wasn't it? I've lost my bin over there. Now I'm not sure what these parts here are, or whether or not everything is just covering everything else in. If you can hear anything else in the background, it's actually a typical summer's day here in England, and it's raining. So I'm hoping this will be fine. Just gently go around the edges where it's been printed onto. These parts look like they are coming off, but I'm not sure if they're built as just stand parts or whether or not they actually stick onto here. I'm going to find out in a bit. So this part looks like comes off as well. Because I thought that this part was another one of these, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I need to look at some of the models that are out there for this, because I know what the Enterprise F looks like. The F refit, which this is slightly different, so that's a bit more stuck on there. The more I take off of this, the better. Ooh, hello, why is that all the way underneath there? I don't think that's meant to be there, that part. That's definitely on that, but why would that be there? I mean, for a refit part, I honestly don't know. That's loose. I mean, that would mean they've got 3 parts to stick on if that, and that part go on. And then maybe this part here, but I don't think it is. Ah, there we go. Okay, so it has got that cut out bit there that potentially... I'll have a look at the 3D models for this, I think. So like this part will be... This is going to be a multi-stage video anyway. There's going to be gaps, maybe weeks between parts anyway, so that's not a problem. Well, that looks okay. I'm almost certain that that is meant to have just your 2 parts anyway. We're looking at the models that I've actually got of this, the Enterprise F from Edelmoss. This might be okay. So I'm going to keep that to one side for a moment. I don't think they are anything. Definitely not throwing it away just yet. So, back section here. Ooh, hello. Another part there. Is that meant to cover up the warp nacelles? I don't know. There's a bit there as well. This is just you watching me doing this. Why is that's not meant to be there, is it? Yeah, because that curves back. Oh, you've got to have the strength of a gorilla and a... I don't know. Hopefully I don't want to break this. I assume that the 3D printed model is a lot better. Or at least the files that they've made are meant to do this. That's better. Oh, see, there's part there as well and there. I think this bit's going to be a bit of a nightmare to take off. Oh, there we go. That's that part there. Right. See, there's another part there. Are they meant to be there? I don't know. There's so much parts that I need to look at on this. So I'm going to do a quick jump there and see what parts of this I actually need to take off and what are actually properly on the ship. I'm guessing they're the impulse engines on the back, as well as I think it got a couple of others as well. That looks good. That looks pretty good. Is that a shuttle bay or not? 2 minutes. 3 minutes of Kaiser Chiefs later. There we go. So this part here was really sticking in. That part came off that because it's more extra parts that they build up to support these as they're being printed, either that way or that. Actually, that way, isn't it? So there is a lot of plastic there over. I suppose maybe it could have, because the problem with it is when it's printed that way, because obviously it was, is when it's printing the lines across, it needs to make these parts here, the back end of the impulse engines, at the same time as it's still coming up the main bulk of the secondary hull, and these are going to be in the middle of nowhere, so it's not like I can go up to go to the top and then come back down. That would be a better idea, to be honest, with 3D print, but you can't come down because you've got these parts anywhere be in the way, so it just, yeah, knacker things up. So I don't know if that is meant to be more of, because there's a gap in that corner there. So I'm relatively certain that this is all crap and bin. Them parts took off. Also, these parts that were on there, they were definitely extra. So that I'm happier with. So far, when it all goes together, and I do need to sand those parts flat, the ship now officially looks like that. Ooh, I like. It's that shuttle bay bit I'm not quite sure about. It's a really big model, isn't it? I mean, either the line that will be left over by the glue will be done with it anyway. I'm not sure if these are actually faults as well, because there's definitely a triangular bit there. I'm trying to look on here. I might even put a picture or two as we're going through this video anyway. There's a line across there where this half here is on the Federation. No, which is a refit version. This version, number 15, which is the Star Trek Online one, which I'm missing. If you've got one, please send it in. That bit's black. Behind here is where the name goes. There are two vents-ish there. This goes all the way to the top, so there's more definition needs putting into this, maybe with the decal set. And actually, there's a guy on YouTube, not YouTube, actually he has got a YouTube channel, to be honest, but it's BobMat343 Designs on eBay, sells lots and lots of decal sheets, and it does a lot to do with Edelmoss and the registry problems that they always had. There were loads of things that were wrong with those, and he would do proper prints of the proper ships, and it was good. So I've actually asked him if he's got any of these, and he says, well, he has got some F for this size, for the two, the Federation model and the standard original model, not the refit. I'm thinking the decals should be exactly the same. If not, I could probably do something with it. Whether or not it's over the top or not, I don't know. But I'd say this version we're probably almost going back to the original version anyway. Not that I know much about the Enterprise F, but right, I need to get some more pictures because I'm not sure if that's meant to be there or not. It looks like it probably will be. Just I might need to put a bit of filler in that corner if this is the shuttle bay. It looks like it probably is, but I thought that also might have been a shuttle bay too. It's the problem with having a ship that wasn't actually properly in Star Trek, but it is in Star Trek Online. Okay, let's study before we go any further. Now, for a lot of study from YouTube channel Space Doc, there's a video, Star Trek Online, Yorktown class Star Cruiser official breakdown. So it just gives me everything I need. Yeah, this part is definitely, line there is definitely a shuttle bay. It's like split into three. So it's like the main one in the middle and two either side. So I do need to fill this bottom gap in here, which is not a problem. This bank bit here, to me, looks like a lot of blue dots along on the... there's two banks of about 6 dots either side, with a tiny gap in the middle. Potentially an aft torpedo launcher. So it's yeah, without looking fully into the video, yeah, it probably potentially is that. So I think we are stripped down to exactly what we need anyway. Now I'm going to be impatient with this, and I'm going to jump straight to gluing this together, even though I really think I should hold back and not glue and sand a lot of this down. But there's going to be a big gap now between this as it is now. Yeah, because everything does look like it should potentially be. Maybe even, hang on. I'm not quite sure about these pieces in here, but they do look like... If it comes off, it comes off. It's not coming off. So it's on there anyway. It looks like a part that this is a shuttle bay, an exterior part anyway that comes off, kind of like a captain's yacht. But I think the way this entire ship is, that's another, yeah, an aero shuttle or something. I assume that by looking at the shape of the actual 3D model, that is actually a warp nacelle. And I think this part here is the top section which sticks to the secondary hull, and then this saucer part minus this pointy bit comes off. Same as the Enterprise E. We've never seen that being launched or anything. I'm just still wondering. I don't think that is. I think that's just a sprue to help hold things in place. So I'm ready now. No other parts on there needed. There were definitely no parts of these parts here sticking onto those. No, of course there wasn't. How would they be? So they can go binwards anyway. So it is a nice sleek ship. There's no extra too much bits on it. The impulse engine on the back look quite pointy and interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand all of these edges, glue together, 5 minutes epoxy apparently, and we'll get this as looking as good as it's going to start off, and we can know the size then, and we can continue along, well, yeah, carry on with it. Now, it's been a while since the glue's been on. It's not fully cured. I have to leave this for, I'm going to leave this for at least a day or two anyway. So at the minute, I think I can safely take it out of the box and show you its side on. So it's been in two sections, nice and tight in there, so kept it upright to glue. If you had noticed as well, I've put a little bit of epoxy in this part here where the hole was. That's just so I can try and fill that bit in, because it is the shuttle bay. But if this falls off now, you can laugh. It's a little bit too much of a gap over here, but there's a lot of epoxy on this anyway, which needs a bit of sanding off when it's done. But there you go. There's the Enterprise F refit. There's quite a lot, but I will, honestly, get this sanded. But I quite like that. I really like it. But I'm hoping, because I did put this a little bit on the sanding beforehand. It's just roughed it up a little bit, but I'm going to clean that off, and I'm going to try and sand these bits down with epoxy when it's fully cured and dried, because it is a little bit sticky to touch. So that's why I'm trying to keep it at a certain angle. Obviously this was the second bit. You'd notice I was trying to coax it a little bit one side or the other, just make it as level as humanly possible. But yeah, I did sand a little bit, which just doesn't get rid of any of the lines, but I did try a few bits. All this bad bit on here is gone. I'm going to try and see if I can put one coat of primer on, just to see whether or not it does anything. Once I've sorted out joins with some putty or some whatevers, as it might even not be too bad with the epoxy squeezing out. It just looks like there's gaps there anyway. But if I put one coat of primer on to see if all of this has been covered over. See, that looks really bad, but it's not. It's really smooth. Because if it does get rid of a lot of lines with the epoxy, but with the primer, then I don't need to sand much more of these lines off. So we'll see what happens in the future with this. So I do like that needs a bit more sculpting. I'll probably get maybe a Dremel on there or something and see what I can do. So back in the box you go, upright and done. So that is going to have to leave for quite a while anyway. So we'll come back to this another day. Oh, you will be staying over there for its foreseeable. So part one. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow me on social media. If you want to donate something like this to me, I'll be very grateful. I need to do models. I've been saying this for months and I'm starting to do models. So we'll crack on with this. If you want to be a Patreon to help out with the channel, I really do need some Patreon help, because these videos are, they don't help much. They're a nice little tinker around anyway, but I would like this channel to go a lot further, and only with your help can I do that. Or if you can repost, retweet, whatever, as many of my videos as possible to try and get my name out there, then all help will be gratefully received. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.